And we are live again. What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. This is episode 8 of Hashtag Them Dragons, the number one House of the Dragon recap show on Pornhub Live. Not on Pornhub Live yet. I got to figure that out still. We're going to do it.
Pornhub Live a thing?
Yeah.
It is, and we were literally just talking about that on Smack and Raw. Like, I need to talk to Travis because if I could be live on Pornhub.
Yeah, we got to figure that out. There's a whole thing. The problem is there's like a whole third party make it work thing that makes it difficult. I got to figure it out. But rest assured, once I do, oh yeah, 100% going live on Pornhub. We will do it. However, right now we're not live on Pornhub. I am your host, the self-knighted Sir Cussalot Travis Pointer, now Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, a.k.a. the Dragon King, a.k.a. Big T, a.k.a. T Money, a.k.a. Sweet T, a.k.a. Black Merlin, a.k.a. DHNIC. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Mara the Shark Watkins.
Hello.
And the Warden, Matt Ritter.
What's up?
How are y'all doing? Doing all right? Doing good?
I'm
Doing great?
Swell.
Swell. Cool.
I've had a good week. I'm doing good. I'm happy.
What constitutes a good week for you?
I got to spend time with my daughter. Work was fairly easy. Bray Wyatt returned to the WWE, and I got tickets to Halloween Ends for Saturday. So that would constitute a week.
Okay.
Love to see it.
You would appreciate this, Matt. I actually went to Hallow Scream last night at SeaWorld, whole lot of haunted houses and stuff and scare zones and all that kind of stuff. So that was fun.
Nice.
Didn't get to see all of them because of just, lines and all that kind of stuff. But it was an overall good time. I mean, I will say Universal does it better with Halloween Horror Nights. But, Hallow Scream was still fun overall.
Glad Halloween Horror Nights was the shit when we went.
It is. It definitely is. They do a very good job with that.
Outside of, spending time with my wife, that was probably the highlight of my honeymoon.
Yes. Make sure you point that out because
I always have to, just in case she listens.
Yeah, we don't need you getting in trouble for that. However, we're not here to talk about Hallow Scream or, Halloween Horror Nights. We're here to talk about House of the Dragon because this is House of the Dragons recap show number 1 on Pornhub. Hashtag Them Dragons. Those of you watching live, thank you for watching this live right here. Twitch.tv/Creation World. You can also find us on YouTube at youtube.com/Creation World. Also, if you want to just listen to this later, you just want to listen to us and don't want to see our beautiful shining faces, you can just, listen to us on podcast services everywhere. All right. Go to the link tree at, how you do that weird link tree dot whatever with the dot after the R in tree, because that's stupid, /Creation World. And you can find where we can get us on, podcast services everywhere. Also, if you want to, support us, you can support us at patreon.com/Creation World. All right. So you go there, you get all the extra goodies there. For just $1, you get this, exclusive content every month. It's fun. You get to watch me and Matt talk about old school WCW wrestling and return to wrestling. Matt hates it. I love it because I love making Matt miserable. It's one of my favorite parts of life. Sometimes people ask Travis, what gets you up every morning? Well, knowing that soon I get to make Matt's life even more miserable by forcing him to watch old WCW stuff keeps me going. Also, you can catch us there talking, with Mara doing multiverse, talking, animated properties in all the comic book world. This last episode we did, Justice League Dark. Good fun. Interesting movie. You have one of those moments where it was a little switch there where I was just like, yeah, I think I've seen this before. Started watching like, oh, no, I have not seen this before. Opposite from Mara, where she was like, I don't think I've seen this before. So I was like, I think I've seen this before. So it was just,
I just haven't finished it.
Yeah. So there you go. Catch us out on
I
all.
always got to finish, Mara.
You got to make sure you finish. However, speaking of live, though, because I forgot to mention this, if you have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, so you can subscribe to us on twitch.tv/Creation World for free if you have Amazon Prime. Get us that Amazon money because, they just wasting it. So, Bezos don't need it, so send it our way. If you don't give it to us, though, give it to somebody, though. Like, that's really what I'm feeling. But
That's true. He really don't need it. He just gonna use it to send more things into fucking space.
yeah. So give it to us. Anyway, that's enough of that jibber drabble. Let's talk House of the Dragon, shall we? This was episode 8 of House of the Dragon. What were you all's general thoughts? Let's start with you, Matt. What did you think?
Oh, joy, another fucking time jump. I realized why the time jumps piss me off is
Why
because
did the time just piss you off? Because you gave us a reason before. What's your reason now?
I
this
feel
episode is called The Lord of the Tides, by the way.
Okay. I feel like they're rushing through the series with all of these time jumps. Like, I want this to be another 8-season series or 8-season series. So like every time we jump time, I feel like we're just like fast forwarding through what's going on, and to get to a point that if the most of the show is going to be there, why the fuck didn't we just start there and then just have recaps? Like, I don't know, it bothers me that I feel like we could have stretched this out, got more stuff, got a little more in depth. And that's why jumping another, 6 years this time into the future?
I think it was 6 years.
We've jumped like fucking 16 years or 27 years over like 3 episodes. It's ridiculous.
See, my thing is, you say we could have stretched this out. When you stretch things out like that, then you get what I believe was like the first 6 episodes of the Rings of Power where nothing's happening. And you got to wait till you get to episode 7 when something interesting finally happens.
I did finally watch episode 7.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
I did.
Yeah. That's why I was just like, I think I saw something. No. If you had seen 7, you'd know you saw episode 7 of that show. Mm-hmm. And I think that's also the problem with Rings of Power. Unfortunately, it's coming out at the same time as this show. So it's just like bad comparison there. But anyway, we're talking about the time jumps and how
Yeah. That was, I enjoyed I enjoy every episode, some more than others. This is one of the ones for more, but every time they jump time, they're going to piss me off, and I'm going to have to say something about it because that's just the way it is at this point. Like, okay. I don't have a DeLorean. That's not what I'm trying to fucking do here.
Okay, I hear you.
Well, they don't jump ahead this next one, so no.
Yeah, we start off right after what just happened, so at least that's what it looks like with the next time on. But Mara, what'd you think?
This was this was the longest episode of the season. It
felt like it.
No, it was. But
I know. I'm just saying it also felt like it. It was just because and it also just may have been like the state of mind that I was in, because I was just like, let's get through this, and why is it still on, kind of thing.
I feel like there was some parts where I was just like, my attention's wavering. What is happening?
I feel you.
Because I had also
it didn't get me that bad, but it was just like, it just felt like the episode was going on longer than it normally should, and I felt it. That's all. But I'm sorry, go ahead, I cut you off.
I think also because I had watched, I rewatched last week's episode right before I started this week's episode to catch my friend up. So that might also might have been why. But yeah, like watching tonight's episode, like pretty much the ending of it reminds me of when I used to watch Power when it was on, when like Ghost would have like this very effective plan to get everything he wants, and have a legitimate and go legit, right? He can get out of the drug game.
Like, we good. It's all we need right here. But then
one person in his fucking world. Yeah.
Usually Tommy or his wife. What was his wife's name? Was it Tasha?
Tasha.
Yeah, one of them. Usually one of them.
or fucking Angie,
Yeah,
Angela,
yeah. I guess that was in later seasons. I stopped watching after a while, so
would throw a
I think only
huge.
saw the first 2 seasons. But anyway, go ahead.
They would throw like a huge monkey wrench, trying to like secure their end, but also being like, well, this will help. I mean, he'll be a little upset about it for a little bit. And it's just like, no. Complete ruin of a plan.
Mm-hmm.
He messed
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
up.
But yeah, that's
That's
Viserys' family. Yeah,
that's what this felt like.
yeah, that's this family. That's this family right here. All
Like
right.
every time you think it was gonna be peachy keen, then it's like, nope, not even close.
Yeah, yeah. So I enjoyed this episode, even though I was saying it felt long to me, but I still enjoyed it. Um, Definitely not my favorite. We talked about my favorite episode because I was just like, what the hell yeah. But this one was still very good. I'll always argue a not as good episode of this is still better than an episode of most shows' best episode. So I'm okay with that. Um I enjoyed the pettiness at the end of this episode. I just watched Nick and like, wow. So here's one petty. Like, okay, I see your petty, and I'll raise you this petty. Oh, I see that petty, and I'll raise you this petty. And so I'm like, oh, wait, I call, and I'll raise you again. And it was just like, okay. The whole time. But yeah, I enjoyed this episode thoroughly. Let's get into the plot, shall we?
Yeah, because
Yes.
Yeah,
there was a
there's a
lot of
lot of plot.
story here.
There's a lot of plot. So we kicked this whole thing off with finding out that Corliss, the sea snake, has been injured in battle. Got a cut across the neck. They don't know if he's gonna make it. Chances are
Look,
he's not gonna make it, is what the Maesters are saying.
I figured this was their way of saying we can't really age him much further, so we must kill him instead, or fatally wound him.
Yeah. Then we got his brother in there, Vayman, talking about like, so what we gonna do about the Driftwood throne? Like that, can I go ahead and get my seat there? She was like, no, the grandkid got that. Lucas got that throne. People like, yo, that ain't your grandkid. He don't say it out loud. People like, that ain't your grandkid. At least not yet. He don't say it out loud.
Corley's ain't even dead yet, and Vayman already coming for it. And I was just like, dang.
Yeah, that's what I have in my notes here. Like, yo, he getting kind of bold. Like, who, nigga? Like, you might want to sit down somewhere, bro.
And like, I get it, right? Like, I get it, but also, like, you're only sitting on the throne of Driftmark. Like, you're not the king. Like, you're fighting for some shit that, like, you're fighting to be governor, essentially.
You
Yeah,
fighting to
people
be
like to
Mitch,
cling to their power,
not Mitch
though.
McConnell. You fighting to be Rick DeSantis.
Yeah, basically. But my thing is, like, you are being especially bold right now, especially after it's been declared that anybody bring up this shit again, this is considered treason. Like,
That's all I
you're
kept
done.
thinking about. I just kept
Like,
thinking about the fact that he was like, anyone else who brings up this shit will lose their tongue. And Viserys held on to that shit for 6 years. He was
sure
just
did.
like,
He was not playing.
I may be sick, but I
Rhaenys
didn't
told
forget
him
that
shit
shit.
too. Like, Rhaenys is like, hey, you might want to chill out. Like, don't say that shit. Well,
It's too many hands in the pot. Everyone trying to post the comment.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it alone from now on. That's what I'll do. But yeah, very relevant. He's like, yeah, you still a field hand, man. You're not a house nigga. Like, so get it together.
Like, I didn't know who you were before last week's episode. You better sit your ass down.
to be honest,
I remember from earlier episodes because he was arguing with his brother at that whole thing, and yeah,
But we did not know his name because we sat here and we're like, yeah, Corliss's brother. That's how we've been referring to him up until this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I was still calling him Sea Snake's brother until his whole thing at the very end when somebody finally said his name out loud. I'm like, oh, that's your name. Okay.
That's crazy because we're 8 episodes in, and I don't think I ever realized that you were talking about this man having a brother.
What?
That's why I was just like, he was news to me last week when you guys said his brother was busy. I was like, whose brother? You were like, Corliss's brother. I was like, who's Corliss's brother? The priest at the funeral. What?
Listen, there are like 5 black dudes on the show, Mara. It should not be that hard to keep them straight.
Are there 5?
Right.
Well,
like,
if you count Lenore, Corliss, Vayman.
3.
Yeah, there are 3 black dudes on the
3.
show. It should not be
and I don't
hard to keep them
recall
straight.
Vayman ever crossing my peripherals at any time.
To be fair, technically, Luke and Jace are also black for black's sake right now. Like, they're Lenore's kids, according to the king. So that makes 5.
No, Vayman said pretty clear these kids are white.
Yeah. Not you, Rachel Dolezal and these kids. No, thank you.
Like these white babies over here. Like,
we should have had Cat Williams playing Vayman.
It's just like, yeah, like look at him like, whose goddamn white babies is these? Like, it's just.
Or maybe he should have played Lenore. That would have been funny.
That would have been.
If they wanted this to be a comedy, they should have done that.
Why does he look like that security guard in the back?
Like, why does he? Yeah. So after that, we got Day. He's got some eggs. Well, he's got 1 egg. Then we realize there's 3 of them. Tells the folks like, yo, there's 3 of these in here. You know, get them over and taken care of. Blah blah blah.
Well, yeah, because he's had more kids now. So more kids, more eggs.
Yeah, yeah. 2 being born and 1 on the way.
And we still don't have new names. Like, we still just decided there are 2 fucking names in the entire Targaryen house. And if you are born a boy, you are either Aegon or Viserys. That is it.
Mm-hmm.
You are one or the other.
Oh, I have tweets about that.
Well, there's Aemon.
Oh, yeah. So, sorry. Aegon, Aemon, or Viserys. That's it.
Wasn't there Aaron at some point? No.
I don't know.
No, Aaron is like is a last name of theirs.
Yeah, yeah. What was the Mad King's name?
I thought it was Viserys.
No, that was his son.
No, he was something with an A. I think.
Ares was his name.
Yeah, Ares.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the Greek god of war.
Did you guys think it was kind of petty that, like, her dad finally had a son, named him Aegon, and then she finally had a Targaryen, like full-blooded Targaryen? She's like, that's Aegon too.
Mm-hmm.
I'll name the second one after you, Dad, but the first, that's Aegon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incorrect. It's Ares. Mad King was Ares. But I'm sure somewhere in there there's an Aaron Targaryen. If not, there should have been. However, what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. 5. She got 5, but no 6.
She got
2.
She got the 3 brown-haired boys, and then she got the 2 blondies and another one on the way. So she got 6 pending.
Let's not forget she also now has 2 stepdaughters.
Right. Too many dang on kids.
Yeah. I mean, hey, she got to pump some out. Like, pow. New ones. We need new babies. Look. Blondie, white hair babies. See.
She said, "Look, I did it. I did it. These are real ones."
Yeah. So, then we got Jace. He's studying High Valyrian. This is when I saw that Ray was pregnant. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because they it was very like inconspicuous. I was just like, she had to turn to the side and then rub her belly, and I was just like, okay, there we go.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. And then later on, we see that she actually has 2 kids when she goes to see Viserys. But they're talking like, oh, so they see that Vaemon's like trying to claim the Driftmark, for himself, the Driftwood throne. And they're like, yo, we gotta go to King's Landing and do something about this, stop them from doing some bullshit. So let's go.
She said, Allison gonna fuck my shit up. So
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
to go over there and get ahead of this now.
Immediately. So they get there, and there's a whole lot of religious stuff all over the place. Clearly, Allison has found the seven. Is what we would say she found Jesus. And they're going looking and looking. They go to see Viserys, and he looks like a description I've heard when I was younger. I don't even remember who said it, but he looked like death eating on a soda cracker, is what they said.
Death eating on a soda cracker.
Yeah,
I have never heard that.
Yeah. It's some southern shit. So
I immediately got upset that this motherfucker was still alive, but I corrected myself later, and we will talk about why.
Okay. So yeah, his face is half covered. We see later why, but yeah, they've been constantly drugging him up. Yeah, the code of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Yeah, he's been constantly just drugged up with milk of the poppy. Day sees it. He's like, oh, so y'all just been keeping my brother high as fuck.
Yep.
Constantly. They introduce him to his other 2 grandkids, as you said earlier, Matt, Aegon and Viserys, because, they've run out of names, apparently, because they're not trying very hard.
Well, some people had other thoughts that, like, maybe this was a sign we should stop recycling. Because when she said that, I was just like, you named your son that you had with your uncle the same
After
name
his brother?
after your half brother.
Mm-hmm. And then named the second one after his, grandfather. And I was like, here, meet your nephew/grandson. And like,
I was going to say, yes, nephew/grandson, a grandfather/uncle.
Nephew son.
Man.
Nephew son.
But I say you keep working with, and then we got the ones, the cousins/step siblings that are getting married now, and we got oh man, I'm telling you, I'm my own grandpa. It's gonna happen.
This family tree is turning into a circle really fast.
I say it does not fork.
I'm not finding, it's like a roundabout, but I'm not finding the exit.
Family cul-de-sac you got going on here. Like, it's ridiculous.
It really is.
So, and it's funny because they did it again later on in the episode. We'll get to it, but we're like, things are going wrong. Well, how do we solve this problem? More incest.
I literally tweeted out, why is Ray, as you would call her, Rhaenyra, as I will, why is her answer to everything incest? I don't understand. Like, every time something goes wrong, she's like, hey, let's marry the family together.
I keep telling you, incest is the Targaryen's way of fixing everything. Literally, it's like the kingdom's falling apart. Sprinkle a little incest in there. It'll be fine.
All done. All good. Speaking of incest, this product of, not first degree incest, but earlier incest in the family, Aegon, apparently raped a servant girl.
Aegon is not the process of or product of incest.
Of previous incest, his father was a product of incest.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, Alicent's his mom. Alicent was a Hightower. Like,
yeah, I didn't say
every
first.
Targaryen has incest in their blood.
I said not first degree incest. Yes, all Targaryens have incest in their blood. Exactly. That is my point.
When you said not first degree incest, I was thinking like he didn't fuck his cousin, like his first cousin, like second cousins or some shit.
Can I show
some
you
shit
guys
that's
this?
legal in Illinois.
That's why you should have just let me finish. So,
can I show y'all this?
You can
'Cause
show
you said
us.
hi. You said high tower, and it made me think of this tweet. It says Otto Hightower looks like this fucking dog.
I mean, he does. Oh man. My thing is every time I hear the name Hightower, I automatically go to the Steve Harvey show because that was his name on the Steve Harvey show, Steve
Hey,
Hightower.
Mr. Hightower.
Yeah, that's where my head goes all the time. But yeah, he apparently raped a servant girl because he's a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Allison just decides, yeah, so you're not going to say anything, right? Because bad things would happen to you if you're like falsely accusing the prince of anything, because that's what people will think. I believe you, but nobody else will. So bad things will happen to you. So you're just not going to say anything, right? Here's some moon tea and here's some gold. Shut the fuck up and go about your day.
Straight up threatening, bribing, and then again, here at Creation World, we are all about pro-choice, and that means a choice either way. Forcing someone to take the moon tea or ancient plan B tea is not the way to go about things either.
At all.
Yeah.
Because she clearly had no choice in that matter.
Black Twitter was outraged with it too. Someone said she did not give her a bag of money and a plan B tea after her son raped her. Yet again, I say, Allison, you raggedy bitch.
Like, you raggedy bitch. Oh, I just need to find that scene in the movie just so y'all can see it, because it is
this too. The Maesters having to make multiple batches of medieval plan B with Aegon around.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, not only is he doing this fucked up shit, but he is also cheating on his sister wife.
Yeah.
Literal sister wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that for 30 seconds because it was like when she said, "What of your wife?" And I was like, "Who's his wife?"
His sister.
Then I was just like, his sister.
Mm-hmm. The Luna Lovegood of Targaryens.
The who?
You don't watch Harry Potter, you wouldn't know.
Okay.
Apparently, Luna Lovegood is the witch that represents Aquariuses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Allison then goes to Aegon, just goes off on him because basically he ain't shit. And she tells him so.
He's a giant fucking man-child. Like,
yeah.
I will say though, the way that they aged the kids this time, to me, was a little weird. Because Aemond...
It wasn't weird before?
No, I mean, only because Aemond, to me, now in this
looks
time
older.
Jump, he looks older. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He looks like the older sibling now. Yeah.
Like, at least like before in last week's episode, like you could tell like kind of the pecking order out of the three of them.
Yeah.
But like now it's kind of just like, if it wasn't for the fact that Aemon's, short and I would, I could have been like, okay, that's Aegon.
Yeah, but if you look at between the two, he's clearly the one between the two that gets shit done. So he's the more grizzly one, So he'll naturally look like he's seen some shit. Yeah,
he's seen some shit.
Yeah. So basically, if shit goes down, Aegon's not going to deal with it because, like Matt said, he's a man child. But Aemon will go in like, I'll handle this and handle it. Is the vibe I get off of them.
It makes sense. It's just people on Twitter, I kept seeing that they kept comparing Aegon to Daemon. Someone was like, I can't help but notice how much they look alike.
Amani was saying the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not Aegon, no, she was talking about Aemon actually.
Aemon, yeah.
Aemon and Daemon.
That 100% looks like his kid.
Which, to be fair, I guess there's also Daemon Targaryen, but Aemon is just rearranging the letters in Daemon Targaryen.
Yeah. Just put the D from the beginning and put it at the end.
Yeah.
Some people were like, Eamon literally looks exactly like Damon. Let me find out Damon was fucking Allison too.
That would be the scandal right there.
That would be some crazy shit.
Did this feel at all familiar to you, Travis?
What?
Like there's a person who is extremely religious, who has very bad kids, who is then covering up for their bad kids so that they don't look bad in front of the religious group, and then, you know, touting their religion. Like, that doesn't remind you of our childhood at all in any way, shape, or form?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Cersei.
Growing up the way we did?
I didn't realize you were talking about real
in
life
general,
trauma.
not very specific
I was
situations.
about to say, I mean, there are several instances of that, so I need you to be more specific here. But yes.
No,
yes.
just everyone that is religious, when something's fucked up, they hide it, they cover it, they pretend it doesn't happen, and they go out there and they front like, oh, everything's okay, and we love the seven, and blah, 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 blah.
And they throw money at it.
Yeah.
Like that's literally what happens all the time. Happened in high school. That's quite a few times, actually. There are people who were supposed to get expelled from the school and somehow did not, even though everybody else that was involved got expelled. But that kid didn't. And then very soon afterwards, the tennis courts got resurfaced. And it was just like, oh, we weren't supposed to notice. Okay, got it.
I remember a pastor's son who didn't get kicked out of the church, even though he cheated on his wife with an underage girl, and she got ousted from the church.
Oh, man.
But he got to stay.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah. That does very much remind me of our come up, Matt. Yeah, our upbringing and what we saw and what we were surrounded by in our various, religious settings and the people that we were surrounded with. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the debauchery. The scandal. Yes. Is there another one? Okay, there's not another one. All right.
I did have this tweet where someone was like, y'all see how well behaved Rhaenyra's kids are opposed to Alicent's?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like the what is it? The lineage may be a little wonky, but you see
you also, difference of a present father, it's kind of how that helps, But they do say though, with Targaryens, every time a Targaryen's born, the gods flip a coin and the realm holds its breath. Like, it's just, you never know. They're either going to be great or they are going to be a horror. So yeah.
And some of them you think are great and they end up being a horror.
Exactly. It all looks good. And then they burn an entire city. But
it only happened one time.
I mean, it only had to happen once. Like, what do you mean? Like, sorry that she didn't get multiple chances to burn down King's Landing. Like,
God, can't let that define her whole legacy. It happened one time. She burned one city.
Like,
and it was the entire reason you hated the last season of Game of Thrones.
That season doesn't exist.
So anyway, then she ends up going to see Ray and Day, and they like, yo, what the fuck are you doing to Viserys? Like, yo, you got him high as fuck constantly, and then you taking advantage of it. Like,
they had Viserys like this.
I really thought they were going to weaken Bernie's ass for a little bit. Like, she's just out there running shit. He's dead in bed. No one said anything. They would come on a corpse. Yeah.
Well, when they had been previewing for this week's episode, and they were saying that Alicent and her father were kind of like working in his absence.
Dead.
Thank you. I have no idea what either one of y'all said, but yeah.
In his stead is what you were going with.
Thank you. In his instead, fuck, I forgot my whole train of thought. You would have thought that he was just like, just on ice in the back while they were just like, oh yeah, the king, he says
Yeah.
this.
Speaking of them ruling in his stead, which sounds dumb to me anyway, just the way they say things. I think this is when I was watching Rings of Power and they said something there that I was just like, that's fucking stupid. They used the term yester eve. And I was just like, nigga, just say last night. Like, why did you?
Is that what that means?
Yes. Yester eve, like yesterday evening. Like,
Oh
dude, just
yeah.
say, nigga, just say last night.
I am
Like,
so using yester eve going forward.
like what the fuck? Like,
Yester eve, I was at work and this happened.
oh my god, like I was so irritated by that shit. But anyway,
It's okay. It's kind of like why I don't understand like why there is a specific word for 2 weeks.
oh, fortnight, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because now whenever I decide if I'm gonna quit the fruit stand, I'm gonna be like, this is my fortnight notice.
Man, yeah. So anyway. Anyway, I'm not acknowledging that. So she goes to see Ray Ray and Data, and they are just not happy with Allison at all because like they just keep drugging him up and taking advantage of the fact that he can't really do shit. And she gets all uppity about it and just like pretend that you're not trying to infer certain things and blah 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 and walk away like. And if she had, I'd have been like, no, I'm inferring. Like, what the fuck? What you gonna do to me?
What she inferred with that was, I'm the one ruling over whether or not your son is going to rule the Driftwood throne. So I'm just going to pretend like this conversation didn't happen while I'm deciding the fate of whether or not your kids are bastards.
I mean, she can try that, but
At the end of
we
the
all
day,
know what Allison wants to do anyway. So it's just like the threat means nothing. So
6 years, what Allison has wanted,
basically. So like, oh, you're threatening me with doing what you've been wanting to do all this time anyway. Fuck you. Like, whatever. So then we got Jason Luke out in the courtyard. They just watching. Kristen's out there.
it took him a long time to bring out where Kristen was because for a moment I was like, did they cut his ass loose?
Yeah, I was wondering where he was too until now. Then we just saw him for that one brief time when he was training one-eyed nigga, one-eyed Eamon.
Yeah, because Allison came out of the chamber and was talking to some guard, and I'm like, oh wow, they really changed the actor for Kristen. And then she called him the wrong name, and he's like, that's not my name.
There's Eric and Arik or something like that.
She's like, oh, my bad.
Like, yeah, like, oh, I forgot your name because neither one of you really matter. Let's see. Then Vayman finally arrives in King's Landing. Oh, by the way, everybody's staring at Jason Luke because they're all like, them white babies. So yeah, Vayman shows up. We get a brief talk with Ray Ray and Raina. Rainey's, I mean. And yeah, basically Rainey's wants the whole Driftwood throne for herself. So yeah, there's that. She's talks a little shit. Yeah.
Still mad because she thinks that they set Laenor up and killed him. I really thought this was going to be the moment where Allison, because she's like, I have a proposition for you. Go ahead.
No, finish.
Oh, I really thought this was going to be the point where she's like, listen, if you side with us, I'll tell you where your son really is. And instead, she's like, if you side with us, incest.
See, that was the thing. It was just like, I don't think anybody is ever going to find out what really happened to Laenor because, like I said, in the books, in the histories, it's like it's written that that's what happened. That's what everybody believes happened.
I love that somebody, what the fuck's his name? The leader of the Unsullied, like the head.
Grey Worm?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Everyone was like, this is Laenor's heir all these years later.
Oh, Grey Worm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that would require Laenor to actually like put his dick in some
Lay a
pussy.
seed down
He's done that. He tried.
Yeah, he tried, and he said, "This ain't
and
for me."
wasn't successful.
Like, yeah, this ain't for me. This ain't where I
And
want to be.
if him and Carl ever want to have a kid, like it's not like in vitro's a thing. Somebody's gonna have to fuck a chick.
I feel like you still have to get the sexual organs going though.
Yeah, so Carl comes in, Carl sucks him off, gets him ready to go. He pops it in, blows it, finishes in her, and then 9 months later they got a kid.
I'm not going to argue because I don't have a dick, so I don't know.
If
I don't
he
know
gets him
how
to the
that
point where he's ready to explode, he slides in immediately. Then yeah, he can pop off right there.
Okay, so it's not like women where it's like you kind of just
plug it with your
turn the
thumb.
wrong way, the wrong time. It just shuts everything down.
No, I mean it can have that effect, but it's also can be like once you're like that close, it don't fucking matter. Just get it somewhere. You flick it the right way.
You get enough wine in him, he ain't gonna mind.
Yeah. So Viserys, he's getting his back picked at and all that kind of stuff, and he was just like, "Yo, I want to have Sunday dinner." That's basically what he said. Like, let's have Sunday dinner with everybody because my whole family here. And I'm just like, bro.
Oh wait, I didn't get to read the tweet because we got so sidetracked.
Tried to have you do it.
I know. I wanted you to finish your thought though. I was just trying to gear up. Someone had tweeted Laenor enjoying his new life with his lover while civil war is brewing, and his parents think Rhaenyra arranged his death. Looks away.
Yeah, the Squidward like looking over out of the sunglasses thing and then going back to suntanning. Yeah.
Like, not my business. No one cares.
But yeah, Viserys is getting his back picked at, and he's like, I want to have supper. And he was like, yo, it's morning. And he's like, no, nigga, tonight. Like, the fuck?
I don't plan on dying today.
Yeah, he was just like, yo, like, I met tonight for dinner.
Was this before or after Rhaenyra ran into his room during the thunderstorm and was like, if you really want me to do this shit, you're going to have to speak up and defend me because the burden is heavy?
This was before.
Okay.
At least I think it was before. I
think it was after, because I think she had that convo and then he was like getting ready because of what's about to happen with the ruling and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when he said no to milk of the poppy and all that stuff. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right.
Yep.
So, yeah, there's all that. He said he wants to have dinner, and he's like, nigga, it's breakfast. And he said, bitch, I'm talking about tonight. So, let's see. Facebook stream is messed up.
I'm checking it.
So, what was I gonna say? Oh no, he tried to have Sunday dinner even though he's half dead. He only got half his face. But says no to the milk of the poppy. So then we get to the next later on today. It's time for the Driftwood proceedings, and they, Vaemon's out there pleading his case and all that. Ray tries to speak up, and Allison just shuts her down. Basically said, nope, quiet, wait your turn. Even though Vaemon is just like, on that bullshit. But then, as Ray is about to really, speak her mind, the door is opened.
For my hot D of the week.
This was almost my hot D moment of the week.
When I explained to you
the moment later happened, it would have been. So the door's open, and here in walks Viserys with his cane, with the gold half mask on. If he didn't look, like I said earlier, like Death eating on the soda cracker, this would have been pimp as fuck as he came in.
But that's why it's my hot D moment of the week, Travis, because what did this remind you of? Viserys is the Undertaker. His entrance was as long as the Undertaker's. He had the Phantom mask on like the Undertaker. He is literally the dead man walking like the Undertaker. And he came down to lay some shit down.
Yeah. So he walks all the way in. And Otto tries to step forward and help him. Like, nah, get up off me. I got this. Back up, nigga.
The look
And
on Otto's face when he's like, "Oh shit, I'm sitting on the Iron Throne, and here comes the king."
yeah, his face, Allison's face, Damon's face, like the faces on these people when he came walking in, like, oh shit.
They were sick. They
Yeah.
were sick. They were just like, what are you doing here?
So yeah. And then he gets to the point trying to go up the stairs, drops his crown, he's like hurting and all that. And then a hand comes to help him. And he's almost about to be like, get the fuck up off me again. But then he sees his Day. And he was just like, all right, I'll let my brother help me.
That shit touched my heart.
It's like we were saying. I'm telling you, man, it's Undertaker and Kane. Like, yo, I will do whatever the fuck I want, say whatever the fuck about my brother I want. Nobody else can fuck with my brother. Like, it is just that simple.
And as much as I hate Dude's face, Damon has really grown on me these last couple episodes. I don't like. Yeah, he's still a bastard, and
he's still an asshole. Like, he's an asshole. Like he's not a good person. We know this,
but he's really grown on me. Like I was like, yes.
So he finally sits down, and Viserys is just like, "What are we doing right now? Like this is already settled. So why are we having proceedings? I'm confused." He's not confused.
He literally was just like, I understand this is a waste of time. Like, y'all are wasting all of this time.
Like, forgive me for not understanding, but I thought this was decided already. So why are we doing this? But then he's just like, you know what? It's okay. I'll say, Lucerys will take over the Driftwood throne, blah, blah, blah. Again.
Yo, the way he said again, it was just like it was very backhand feeling. Just like
it was.
You dumb bitches. I already said this is what's going on.
I told you 6 years ago to stop talking about this shit.
Yeah.
I crawled out of my deathbed.
Basically, I was in my deathbed, high as fuck. I was okay. And here y'all come with this bullshit. Like
Viserys on his way to defend Rhaenyra for the last time. He's just crawling in.
Then Daemon fucked up.
Yeah. He came in talking all this shit. And he really fucked up when he said that B word. That was when he fucked up. And then he doubled down on the fuck up. And fucked up even further. And called Ray a whore.
That's where I think he really fucked up. Like, I feel like the bastard, like he would have had his tongue cut out, but he probably would have lived if he hadn't called Daemon's wife a whore. That is where you fucked up big time, because Daemon even said, go ahead, say it. And he did. He's like, they're bastards. They're bastards.
Yeah, but then
she's a whore.
Viserys stepped like, I will have your tongue. Because he ain't forgot what he said. He did not forget, I will take the tongues.
Yeah, I'm happy to know
pulled out his knife like he would do it himself.
I'm happy that he stuck to his guns, even after the 6 years going through this crazy deterioration. I would have forgot that I said that.
He couldn't remember his own wife's name, but remember that these kids are not allowed to be called bastards.
Daemon really said, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, but with a sword.
Yeah. That is really what happened. Because he said he pulled out that whore and then, wow, sliced his head clean in half. My hot D moment of the week was that right there. Like I said, Viserys walking in would have been my hot D moment had he not had that moment with Day slicing the head in half. Go ahead, Mara.
Oh, it's the same caption. Daemon really said, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, but it's the Oscars moment.
Yeah.
There's also, damn, talk shit, get hit is a lot harder in Westeros.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, after he cut it off, he's like, yeah, you can keep the tongue. His brother, like, yeah, I know you want the tongue.
He definitely did.
You can keep it, bro. I know you said you're gonna take his tongue. Go ahead.
This is where Twitter was really blowing up the most, because someone was like, Daemon, whenever someone talks shit about Rhaenyra or her kids, more violence.
Yeah, that's what it is. And they don't he don't play about that shit at all.
when they were having supper though, and Viserys was talking about like how happy he was to have everyone together, it was also like Viserys every episode begging his family to get along for 10 minutes.
Bruh. Let's talk about the family dinner because he pulled the mask off. I'm like,
he pulled a Future.
like nigga, you ain't got no eye. Like
In the middle of dinner.
And
People are trying to eat, motherfucker.
And he missing a cheek too. Like he missing half of his cheek.
He did like he got the Two-Face going on, except he's also missing the eye on that side. Like he's got the Dark Knight Two-Face going on. You can see inside his jaw and shit.
And I don't care what they say. This is not grayscale. I have seen grayscale. Grayscale, I don't know what the fuck is good. He is rotten from the inside out, but this is not grayscale.
Well, remember, Mara told before it's leprosy.
He has some kind of form of whatever
Leprosy.
time period leprosy they have.
Yeah. So he pulls the mask off. He's missing his eye, missing his jaw. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I couldn't be at this dinner. Because I'd be sitting there like with a grape or something, like, can I toss this in your mouth while your mouth is still closed? Because if I'm sitting across from him, as soon as he turns his head to the right, I'll be like, but yeah. That's why I couldn't be in this family. Because it's just like, no. I wouldn't be as bad as Vayman talking that kind of shit and getting my head sliced, but I definitely have some slick shit to say every now and then. But yeah, he basically tells everybody they need to like chill the fuck out right now. Like, not even for the sake of me being your king. I'm not even commanding this right now. Like, I'm asking this as someone who I think y'all love. Like, I love all of y'all. Do y'all love me? If y'all love me, cut this shit out.
It sounds like something that Kanye would be pleading.
Problem is the grandkids don't give a fuck. Because they're like, we don't even know you like that. Or his kids don't know him like that. So he's just like, I don't care.
Actual kids probably don't give a fuck either.
They don't.
And technically, he is the only one at the dinner that is blood related to everyone at that table.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. So after that's done, he's all worn out. That was all he had to give. And they come and they carry him off back to bed. But then, well, before that, Ray makes a toast to Alicent, and apologize. I'm like, oh, she came in with the full humble apology and everything. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then Alicent's just like, you know what? We was cool before. We can be cool again. I'll toast you back,
Nope. Don't trust that for a second.
Right? I was like, that shit sounds crazy.
She just did what she had to do so she didn't look bad. Because listen, Travis, I know you haven't been watching wrestling, especially AEW. So there's this thing over in AEW with this group called The Acclaimed, where their big thing is scissoring.
Okay.
Like this.
I'm
that's how they shake hands.
I know what scissoring is.
Well, no, you know what scissoring is, and that's kind of how I was hoping Alicent and Rhaenyra would settle their differences. Which is what I was going to get at. Like, scissor me, dragon mommy. Like, that's what I was hoping for. But I did not get that feeling from Alicent's fucking speech whatsoever. There was definitely some like phony ass religious doing.
Well, we all have a general distrust of Alicent to begin with, anyway. So
she a raggedy bitch.
Now, Amani said it's not the grandkids; it's more of his kids. The grandkids are respectful.
Yes,
I kind of disagree there because the petty started there. When as soon as Viserys left, Luke had them bring out that pig and put it in front of Amy.
No, but I agree. Like Alicent be doing shit tit for tat. Like she don't do anything as like an original thought. She did or an original plan. She just be doing shit because Rhaenyra.
Oh, I agree. She wouldn't have done it had Ray not done it. But I just think there was some sincerity behind it.
Also, I did not catch that pig thing. I'm glad you said that because that completely flew over my head as to what was going on. All I was paying attention to was Aegon pretty much telling his cousin that he was going to fuck her because her new husband and his other cousin wasn't going to fuck her good enough.
Yeah.
I was very distracted by that petty going on. Do you even know how to use your dick? Do you know where it goes? If not, I'll satisfy you. Don't worry.
Yeah. But then Jay stepped up and went over to Aegon's sister wife and said, "Come dance with me." And dances in front
His
of him.
other
So
cousin.
they, steps up to Petty over there. And then, see, I think he did that on purpose. Like, I really do think he had that pig brought out because they petty like that. Like, I just think that there's just petty all around.
Aegon definitely started that shit.
Yeah. But the pig had to be arranged ahead of time. That's the thing. So it's just like it may have actually came out after that happened, but it had to be planned ahead of time. But yeah. Then Aemon steps up and starts complimenting his nephews, but very much emphasizing how strong they are. They're so strong. And
I was just like, all these tons.
While dude is dancing with Aegon's wife is kind of like a fuck you. Like they're out there on the dance floor. Oh, did you catch what she said, by the way? Because like I think we talked about this last episode, but she said before I don't know her name. The sister wife.
Helena.
I'm sorry, the sister wife. Yes.
Helena.
I don't know her name.
Helena.
Okay. It's okay. So she said when she was playing with the fucking spider and shit, she said that it was going to cost Aemon an eye to get a dragon before it happened. And right before she got up to do what her little toast, she said, "Beware of the beast under the boards."
Okay.
I'm waiting to find out what that means because she is been
predicting shit. She's always predicting shit. Yeah, she does that. Like most of the time when she's saying something that's very strange, it's like, yeah, that means something. Something's gonna go down. So yeah, after Aemon starts talking about how strong Jason, Luke, and Joffrey are, Yeah. Helena talked about how, like, because they were speaking about Jace and Luke marrying their step siblings / cousins, and being like, yeah, I mean, being married is cool. Most of the time, they just ignore you anyway, unless they're drunk, So there's that.
Servant girls, like,
Yeah. So yeah, fight goes down. They separate everybody and all that kind of stuff because the kids were about to throw hands.
Again.
Yeah.
Aemon took that punch. First off, we talked about how Aemon looks like he's older than everybody else, but also he just has that presence about him, like that fuck around, find out presence. And he took that punch, no problem. He like smirked and was like, "Oh, that's the best you've got."
Yeah.
Because he called him out earlier in the yard.
Yeah, basically, like, yo, we can do this if y'all really want to do this, but I don't think you really want to do this with me. So,
Aegon's a pussy. Aemon's about that shit until
what?
Until Day stood up.
Oh, well, yeah, he stepped in and said, "Yeah, that's enough of this shit."
Because Aemon was not about to fuck with Day.
No. Most people won't. Like, only one that's ever really fucked with Day and did okay was Kristen. So after all that goes down, Alicent and Ray talking, and Ray's like, "Yo, I'm gonna send my kids back. We're gonna all go back, and then I'll come back on Dragonback and we can hash shit out." Aemon did grab Jason, slam him on the table.
When she said she was coming back by dragon, I was just like, "Bitch, you was pregnant. What?"
That's fine. The other one was riding the dragon. Yeah. In battle. Not in battle.
In my brain, I was just like, that's reckless. But then I was just like, for you, this is like getting into a car for me. So
yeah.
But Lena's birth did not end well for her after riding a dragon.
The first two did.
Maybe she waited 9 months. Who knows?
I doubt it.
There was a whole time jump, so I don't know what happened for those births and what she had been doing in all of that time.
Yeah, you do.
I just know she rode a dragon this time, and then had to have that dragon burn her to death because she couldn't get the baby out.
Who knows? The life expectancy was way different then than it was now.
Yeah. Very much true. Very much true. Only one that can check Day Day is Ray Ray. It is. It's very true.
I have more memes about that, or more tweets about it. I just
Go ahead.
Her sons are bastards and she is a whore, Damon. And I took that
personally. Yeah.
The way Damon beheaded the man who called his wife a whore and his stepson bastards in front of the court, his family, and the guards is peak daddy material.
Yeah. I really do love him standing over there and just being like, you can take his tongue if you want. Like, it's just like, it's hanging out right there. It's easy to cut now because I looked out for you, bro. Like, you want his tongue, you can go ahead and cut it.
Or even Viserys, with everyone loved his little get up and coming down to dragged himself off his deathbed, literally put on his Phantom of the Opera mask and shut shit down, officially stand for him to die 20 minutes later. But
Yeah. He didn't quite make it.
I will say though, sorry.
No, where?
Someone had said, you can't convince me that Emma didn't curse Viserys because this slow death is nothing but the work of vengeance.
Oh man, you might be right. Right.
I full on agree with that because, to be honest, I'd be like, why is he dying for this long?
Right. So then somehow Snitch goes to Day Day's old hoe. They just got information for her because somebody's, got to snitch to her about shit. So
anyone else think that was Day Day in his crime hoodie up to some bullshit?
Amani thought that it was him at first. Yeah, we were watching.
I saw it and I was just like,
because Kate isn't here for all of this and all that. So I explained to her the crime hoodie theory and all of that. Because I said, I'm like, oh, I bet that's Damon, and then it wasn't. She's like, why would you think that's Damon? I'm like, well, they had the crime hoodie on. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
He does all these crimes in this specific cloak.
Basically, when he gets shady, he puts on his shady nigga hoodie, and But yeah,
I'd be like, what crime are we going to commit now, Damon?
I thought he was going back to a side chick.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Now that he's got Rhaenyra.
Yeah. So then we go back to Viserys in his bed. He's all hopped up on milk of the poppy now, but wakes up for Allison when she comes in. He starts talking to her about the Song of Ice and Fire because he thinks he's talking to Rhaenyra. And it's not. So she misinterprets it because he says the name Aegon. She's like, yes, our son Aegon. And it's just like, no, that's not what he was saying. He was saying the prophecy that, Aegon the Conqueror saw in his dream and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yes, Aegon will be king. Yes. I'm like, are we forgetting that, that Ray Ray's kid is also named Aegon? There's another Aegon.
There's like 40 fucking Aegon.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why did you automatically assume he's talking about your kid? But also, he was talking about
the Prince of the Promise shit.
Yeah, she had no idea what he was talking about. So just like she has no context for that because she doesn't know about that shit. Only person he told was Ray Ray. So it's just so she thinks he's talking about her kid, and he must want Aegon to sit the throne. Blah blah blah.
I was watching the episode and I was just like, well, it's clear that Viserys is going to die in this episode because, in all honesty,
we thought it was clear 17 times already, though.
But I was just like,
we literally thought we watched him die in multiple episodes.
Yes. And when that last
they had him looking this episode, I was like, nah, this nigga is dying.
No, and the thing is, I know. And that would have made sense, but part of me was just like watching the next episode.
When that last gasp of breath came on, I'm like, they did not keep this man alive. They did not. But did this remind you of that Arn Anderson promo, Travis?
What, My Spot?
No, the one that we're going to cover on the next episode of Return to Wrestling, where he was talking about his grandma waiting until he grew up to be like a grown man who could handle his shit and all that. The whole time, because I literally just watched that episode earlier today, I'm sitting here thinking, this is that Arn Anderson promo. Like, he thinks he was at dinner, he thought, okay, I finally got shit settled. I can die now. I've just been clinging to life until everyone's okay. And he thinks everything is okay. So he just lets shit go because he left before all the bullshit happened.
Oh yeah, when everything's gonna get horrible now. Like, Allison's about to turn that shit right the fuck up.
Yeah. It's
But
gonna just all be bad. All bad.
I was cracking up because Twitter was like, Jon Snow isn't even in this season and he is still fucking everything up.
Oh.
I was dying.
Whose real name is also Aegon.
Yeah, it is.
I forgot about that because that season where they revealed all that doesn't exist.
That was actually the season before that. That was the last episode of the season before. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. Them revealing all that, I've had to tune all of it out since it kind of blends into the last.
I'll tell you what, I've only watched that season twice, and my wife's like, "Oh yeah, Bran's king," and I'm like, "I don't fucking remember Bran becoming king. I remember them killing Daenerys and Jon Snow getting on a ship, and that was about it. Like, I didn't remember.
Like, to me, that's how the show ended.
Y'all really blocked all that shit out, huh? Y'all forgot that Bran had the best story.
They fucked, and that was it. Tyrion might have been jealous. That's what I remember how the show ended.
You know, here's a problem that I'm having with House of Dragon. Like, and I talked to Kate about this, is the lack of titties. Because, like, they promised, like, I read, and it's like nudity, and I was not expecting the only nudity to be
Aegon's ass. Yeah.
Aegon's ass.
There is a lack of Thrones. There is a lack of titty. You're right.
As the story built, the titty went down, but there was a lot of titty early on, and I expected the same thing here. Lots of titty, and then as we move on, the titty just. So I'm hoping maybe it's a reverse.
They're showing a lot of history.
As we get forward, we start getting more and more titty toward the end.
Yeah. Like they're trying to make sure you understand who is who, how we got to this point, and then they're like titties galore.
And you know why we're missing all these titties? Because all the titties happen in the fucking time jump.
Is that what it was? Is that where all the titties were?
New reason why I don't like time jumps.
Because they're
missing all the titties.
It's all a conspiracy.
Mara, we never got what your hot D moment of the week was.
Oh, mine was also the beheading.
Okay.
Because that's where like my attention was kind of just like, whoa, I'm awake now.
Yeah. Okay.
But
all right.
No, because there's more.
Go ahead.
Me, when Alicent thought Viserys meant he wanted her rapist son to be king. You are without doubt the dumbest bitch I've ever heard of.
It's true.
Thinking about how a whole civil war could have been prevented if these people had just stopped recycling the name Aegon.
Very true. Very true.
And then a realization for us, the fans. You're telling me we're starting a war because Viserys and his delirious ass mistook Alicent for Rhaenyra in his final moments?
Yeah. That's what happened. We are going to war, people, because of that very thing. And it was funny because when she was, when Ray was, showing her sons to Viserys, and she was like, "Yeah, Aegon, and this is, Viserys." I'm like, "Oh, egg." I know y'all don't know what that means, but egg is, yeah. But those of you who are familiar with, book lore and all that, egg is important.
How long is this before Game of Thrones? Like
very
200
long.
years or some shit? Okay,
yeah.
So
we're still at 200 years, if not, maybe 180 now.
Mad King's brother Aegon, who was the blind maester of the wall, who was another fucking Aegon.
I thought it was Aemon.
I thought it was Aegon.
The same three fucking names getting recycled.
It's Aemon because he was Maester Aemon. Yeah, Aemon Targaryen.
It's too much. I have like a
Well,
thing
it is
of
Aemon without the D
Yeah, there's no D on it.
because he's a maester.
Is that why there's no D? Because he's a maester.
Mhm.
I don't know what one
There
has to
was
do
a
with
D
the
and they
other.
took it.
Oh, they really the
Mhm.
maesters took the D. Okay,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to have a D. Got you.
no, not at all. Can you guys see this?
I mean, I
Mhm.
can see it, but it looks a bit too branched to be real.
Well, I
Right?
think I'm trying to see. Like, I was looking at this area. I was just like, I need someone to break down for me how these niggas are all related to each other.
Well, this one fucked this one, and that one fucked that one, and then these two made babies here, while this one was making babies with this one over here. This one
Okay.
was fucking this one in the ass, while that one was actually like licking this one's ass. Like there
Okay.
was a lot happening there.
Okay, so I found Damon, and here's Rhaenyra. Here's Rhaenyra's kids, and
Mm-hmm.
then here's Aegon the Third and Viserys the Second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, does she not have that third child?
Ooh.
Ooh, did I just spoil something?
Maybe.
Or maybe they haven't talked about it yet, so they didn't put it in there.
I mean, this
Mm-hmm.
is going all the way down to because I tried to look up something that was like, bring me all the way down to when we
Why
get to
does
Daenerys.
Why does Jenny of the Old Stones look like somebody I want to hang out with?
Yo.
I'm just saying, Jenny looks like a good time.
Oh man.
So yeah, so then I was gonna say Viserys marries a man, but I realized that is a woman.
She does look like she got male pattern baldness, though. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, like look like that
Yeah.
hairline.
And her
going
name is
back.
damn near Rogaine too, so like
Like they don't. She doesn't have a last name or anything. Where did they get her from?
Who the fuck
Viserys,
knows?
where? Like, look at him. He looks like Jungle Man. Where did you go?
Viserys say, "I do what I want. All right, like just let me live."
Almost like he found some free folk. And then
Aegon
we
the
have
Third looks like he's suffering from depression hard.
right, like he's like, I did not want to be with my cousin.
Aegon had a very yeah, but I'm sure we'll see it. He had a very difficult time for a while. So yeah.
I mean, he's got a pretty
Probably,
wife and they had like 5 kids.
Yeah, but before that,
I was gonna say it probably has something to do with the fact that his mom and his dad is his cousin.
like
And we
shit,
got
shit
a
got bad for him before. It actually like had nothing to do with that. I'm hoping they get into that, but yeah,
and
he
we got
had
some new kids with new names that are Targaryens. Look at you, Aegon the Third. Proud of you, Daeron and
Darren, Baylor, yeah, Dana,
Raina, Elena.
Elena.
I want us to escape this ENA. I want
it's not gonna happen.
the E consonant A, like the chokehold that this has on them. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then
There's
we
a lot
have
of Anos around
Aegon
here.
Viserys, names one of his after his brother. Was this the fourth? It's IV4?
Yes, 4.
Yeah. And then oh look, some Martells get up in here. I've never heard of Sea Stars or Rivers.
I've heard of Rivers. Yeah, Rivers are bastards.
There's
Okay.
Blackwood.
And then there's a Bracken. Never heard of that one.
So wait, are these all just like, are these 3 women over here just Aegon the Fourth's mistresses that he was fucking?
Probably.
Aegon the
And these are like the bastard kids? Yeah.
I have to assume so, yes. He looks
he
like
a scumbag.
You're right, like he looks like he'd be like, I'm gonna fuck all these bitches. And I'm just like, how are you landing these bitches?
He looks like Robert Baratheon, who had all those bastards just run around King's Landing they had to hunt down and murder.
Touche. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get through this further. And then we got House Baratheon out of the blue here. Oh, here's an Aegon the Fifth. I can't wait to watch all this shit fall apart.
Yeah. I'm telling you, some good shit there. But
Are the black kids listed?
No, they're all dead.
Well, I
It would have
think
been that other side.
yeah.
'Cause
Here's
there's
Bela and Reyna.
Yep, and then if you go down, there's their 1/4.
There's some more Valerians over there on the right.
Yeah, he married a Valerian.
Yeah, but they didn't have any kids, so
Who married Valerian?
If you go back left, keep going.
Ah, yeah.
Go
yeah,
down.
That's
they
why I was
all
saying he looked sad because he had to
Mhm.
marry his
yeah
cousin.
they all got, but they're all named Targaryen, so the name disappeared.
Dana and
Mm.
Elena, House
Well, yeah,
Longwater.
Because if
because
you go to the right,
what was it? Because Lane are technically, well, his children,
these three, they didn't have no kids.
which tells me not great things are gonna
Yeah,
happen.
bad things are happening there. That's not going to end well.
That's not gonna end well for them. Oh no.
Yeah.
I've become so attached to them.
I was going to say, especially if you pay attention to the fact that those 3 people right there, 2 of those 3 were supposed to be the ones marrying their cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
Or their cousin.
And they don't marry nobody either. So yeah,
Oh no. Well,
bad things are coming
Spoilers.
there.
Aegon and his sister have 3 kids.
Yeah, it looks like 3, and
Or
they don't go nowhere.
or 2 of them have a child that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Who the fuck is Daeron? Where did this one come from?
Like, who is this nigga? I guess there was another kid. I don't know. But that's enough of that. We'll be talking about this all day. Let's cut
We
this
will.
out.
I'm having fun.
Yeah. So rate this episode out of 5 dragons, people.
4.
I'll give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm sitting at 3 also.
Damon gets a 4 for me.
Damon could make it a 4, but because of the fact that it was really long and I had a hard time holding my attention for a little bit, then I'll give it a 3.
Damon and the Undertaker, 4 stars.
Yeah, so 3 1/3 stars is the cumulative rating for #DemDragons on this particular episode. But yeah, I think that'll be it for this week's episode of #DemDragons, y'all. Don't forget you can follow us on both Twitter and Instagram at It's Creation World. Also, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. You can also find this particular Facebook group for this particular podcast at facebook.com/groups/DemDragons. Let's see. Are you a comic book fan? You can also catch, Creation Comics every week. There's a Facebook group for that as well. Facebook.com/group/Creation Comics. You can find me on both Twitter and Instagram at Lord_Cussalot. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
Always on Instagram and requested on Twitter at Shark, MARADASHARK.
And Matt, plug your shit.
As always, you can follow me on Twitter at Matt Rithers, at MATTRIDDR on Twitter only. Also, Getting Off Pod, it is our new horror podcast that is done whenever I feel like it. We did just drop an episode for season 1 and pretty much everything Chucky before the first episode of season 2 came out. So if you're not caught up and you want to get a refresher, go check that out. We had a blast. That is over on YouTube, Twitch, and Pornhub. We did. We really
have
did.
A blast? Okay.
We did. We had a blast. I really like that it took me 5 years, but I finally whittled Travis down to letting me talk about horror movies. So yeah, if you guys enjoy all of that stuff, you guys can find everything for it at Linktree/SmackingItRaw. We got a Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/SmackingItRaw. And between that and Creation World, it'll get you everything that you need smacking it raw, and or getting offed. See, you got it.
Oh, she didn't catch the name earlier. Okay, that's what happened there.
I've seen it like in our files and stuff, and I was like, "What is that?"
All right, I guess that'll be it. Catch y'all next week. Until then, we out.
Bye.